everyone. Welcome to Build Brunch, the daily morning show where we talk about the latest topics in entertainment. I'm Brittany Jones-Cooper.
I'm Shannon Coffey.
I'm Allie Colbert.
I'm Lucas Tim. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Monday.
Today we're going to talk about the highly anticipated Red Table Talk interview with Jordyn Woods, Martha Stewart's latest business venture, a possible new acting gig for Julia Roberts, and what it's like coming into work with an awful hangover. But first,
it's time for our In Case You Missed It by HuffPost segment. Modern kids are discovering social media for the very first time, and with that comes the shocking realization that their lives have been documented since before they were even born. Here to talk about this is host of In Case You Missed It by HuffPost, Heather Gardner.
Hey guys,
Hey,
thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. This is something I never really thought about. So what
either.
is it like for kids now to discover that they've been on the internet their entire lives?
I mean, we kind of grew up without social media. We grew up in a time where we kind of got to have our first Facebook, have our first Instagram, Twitter, and kind of put our own online presence out there by ourselves. But now parents are doing that for their kids. 92% of children have an online presence from their parents before the age of 2.
That is not shocking, but also shocking at the
It is,
same
right?
time.
That's exactly my reaction. I just had never thought of it. I don't have kids, so I'm not posting about babies. Maybe my nieces and nephews, but you know, I never thought about it. But this is a reality for kids logging on to Facebook for the first time, logging onto the internet, Googling themselves, and 1,500 baby photos just popping up. That's what the average parent puts on the internet of their kid.
Oh my God.
Before the age of 5, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember when, and this Atlantic article talks about it when it was cool to Google yourself and see if you're on there. But I remember Googling one time, and all my track times and skiing times up there, I'd be like, that was like a bad race. That shouldn't be up there. Like, I run faster than that. Like, but I was like, wait, everyone can look me up and see how fast I run.
You know,
that's so weird.
That's a good point too, because it's not just parents that are doing this, parents and grandparents. It's called sharenting when it's your mom, your dad, your aunts, your uncles. But you know, schools and like you said, sports teams, that's a really big thing too. They'll Google their names, they'll see something. Even schools nowadays have vlogs.
Yeah.
Just, you know, just supposed to be really fun and uplifting for kids and a way for parents to connect with their kids in school. However, for a child who's just discovering what the internet is, it can be a bit jarring.
Totally. Yeah, what do you think what conversation should be had with parents when a kid says, Mom, Dad, what's going on with these 2,000 photos of me?
Well, you know, the reaction is kind of mixed. When kids find it, some of them are kind of what we're like, they're completely shocked. They're like, whoa, what is this crazy new world called the internet?
Yeah.
You know, but some of them actually kind of like it. And they say, I'm famous, I'm on the internet, I feel like a real person. But you know, the conversations, I know, right?
Yeah.
But that's kind of true though, when you're on the internet, you're a real
You matter.
person. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of weird nowadays for someone to not have an online presence.
Yeah.
But you know, parents are sitting down with their kids and especially the older kids, like the teenagers, the 14-year-olds who are very self-conscious in themselves anyway, are like, all right, so Mom, if you're gonna post this, let me look at it, let me get some approval first, then you can post it online. And a lot of parents actually do that. There's the flip side where parents just don't think that their kids have to consent in what they do on their own, you know, Facebook pages and stuff. And there's one mom that even went viral for flat out refusing to shut down her mom blog. She had been posting for the last 14 years on her daughter. Her daughter caught wind of it. And we're talking like this woman also, she had the blog, but she was a contributor for the New York Times and the Washington Post. And so these were very, very public like places. And her daughter was like, nah, we're done with this. Mom flat out said, I can't do that. It was her income.
See, that is so unfair to me because even we had Kristen Cavallari on the other day and she doesn't put her kids on her show because she's like, I want them to make the decision to be so public. And I never really thought about with social media, but if somebody had been writing a blog about me my entire life, that's everything personal about you out there for everyone to read.
Well, it depends, I guess, how she's writing it.
True.
Right? Like if she's going into specifics and like I'm thinking of sex education right now.
Yeah.
When the sex therapist is writing about the adolescent boy going through puberty and like how she generalizes the subject. But yeah, that is definitely an invasion of privacy.
Yeah.
yeah, I've seen a lot of blog posts from parents that are like sharing personal things that happen, like, oh, this is the first time they asked me about, you know, sex or this or that, and they take like a comedic angle. And sometimes I even feel like there's, I'm thinking of one mom in particular that I know, where she will talk specifically about her daughter and kind of judge her. And I would be so scared to like be Googling myself and find out that my mom basically like hates me.
Shamed you your entire life.
Has been shaming me and judging me to other parents. Like, it can get heated.
I mean, mom blogs is a
does
whole
matter.
separate thing because it's not just your personal Facebook pages or your personal profiles. Mom blogging is a whole different thing. It's the whole world getting kind of this personal picture of your life.
Well, it's interesting 'cause I think children of celebrities have been dealing with this. Tina Fey and Kelly Ripa would both talk about how their respective daughters would complain to them when they got older of all the stories they would share. Of course, doing it in jest and funny stuff. But I was interesting finding out in France, there's actually a law. Children can sue their parents for right of privacy. And in Europe, in general, they have so French.
Very French.
Screw
I hate you, Mom! I'm going to sue you.
Yeah, and in Europe in general, you have this right to be forgotten where they can remove things from the internet. So I wonder if that's where we're heading.
We should have that. We should.
Yeah, I mean, and that one is really important too because, you know, we talk about embarrassing photos. It is kind of like a vanity thing. Like, I don't want potty training photos of me on the internet. Thank the Lord that was not around when I was a kid. You know, but the European law specifically, it's really meant for children who maybe commit a crime when they're a young child.
Yeah.
And then people Google their name for a job opportunity years and years later. That's like one of the first things that pops up, and that's not fair, you know? So I think that's a really good law. Unfortunately, the US has not followed suit with France or in Europe, you know, so. We need to, though.
But when you're a parent, I mean, I'm thinking about when I'm a parent, the social media is going to be around in some form, whatever. We have a chip in our head or whatever, however it is. But are you going to share pictures of your kids? I mean, I think I will. Yeah. But will I hashtag the kid like some of these parents did?
Are you just reserving the handle for your kid?
Yeah. That's a really popular thing where people are like as soon as they figure out the name of their child, like making sure they get like the best email, the best like Instagram handle. And I'm like, that's so wild.
That's valuable. The handle's very valuable.
Never thought about that.
I would think that that's nice, but also you know, just let your kid go through that. Like, you might have to be like Ryan Johnson 1.0.
Well, I do think that the basis of this is really good. That parents, I mean, sharenting, they're proud of their kids. They want to share, you know, like we do on social media, every aspect of our lives, especially with grandparents and aunts and uncles far away. And I was actually at a baby shower this weekend, my sister's baby shower. And I asked the same question to my sister. I was like, are you going to share online? And she was like, absolutely. It had never dawned on her. Then I asked another mother who has a 5-year-old, and again, she never even thought. She's like, you know, I never did ask my baby his permission if I posted things. But there's also other apps too, besides like Facebook and Instagram, besides those very public. Tinder for babies. No, but there's like photo sharing sites that you can just do between phone numbers. So it's not a public thing, but you can still share. So these are conversations that I think parents should really take into consideration.
I think so, but also I think just at the end of the day, remember, like, no one really wants to see your baby. So
I do. I want to see.
I have a lot of friends who do, they share the photos of the baby, but they'll put an emoji hiding its face. So like they're sharing like its body and they're like, oh, look at this, it's like blanket. It's like Michael Jackson with blanket and I'm like, get over it. Like your baby, like either share it or don't, but don't do this have season and out kind of thing.
I'm sort of in between the two of you. I'm like everything in moderation. I think you can definitely post photos of your baby. It doesn't need to be daily. Hey, it doesn't need to be weekly. Also, don't post a picture of your baby that like you wouldn't want posted.
Right.
So if it's like something embarrassing, I think you have to put yourselves in those shoes.
Like potty training.
Or
running around in a, you know, a diaper.
Or bath time. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to see pictures of your kid in the bathtub.
It's
I don't. I think
it's a little creepy. It is. And, you know, also the dangers of social media, too.
I think people are creepy.
People are creepy.
People can people can take those pictures and put them on pedophile sites.
Exactly.
And that has happened to several parents, you know, nowadays.
Welcome to Build Brunch.
Well, Heather, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you guys
for
really
having me.
Appreciate it.
And you can catch In Case You Missed It by HuffPost on HuffPost.com and Yahoo's Roku channel.
Jordyn Woods appeared on Jada Pinkett Smith's Red Table Talk on Friday and revealed her truth about the Tristan Thompson cheating scandal. Take a look.
On the way out, he did kiss me.
No,
and
what do you mean by kiss?
It's just no passion, no nothing on the way out. He just kissed me and
like a tongue kiss, like a peck on the lips, peck on the, like a...
No, it was like a kiss on the lips, but no tongue kiss, no making out.
Got it.
Nothing. And I don't think that he's wrong either because I allowed myself to be in that position.
Oh, I mean, guys. Okay, before we start, I just want to first throw to the Khloe Kardashian tweet that literally happened the second this was posted on Facebook. And I think it's really interesting because it shows Khloe's immediate reaction, to which honestly really helped Jordyn's point of view and Jordyn's story, especially after watching it while this tweet was put up. I mean, basically the last line, by the way, you are the reason my family broke up, is what people like, LOL, Khloe, get over yourself.
And what I think happened is that Khloe posted this thinking she was going to get a lot of support. If you went into the comments of this post, everybody was like, Khloe, you cannot blame Jordyn for breaking up this relationship. Tristan did that all on his own before Jordyn was even a factor.
Yeah, because when you watch the interview, you're like, wait, he was having a party and his wife wasn't there? Like, there were issues happening.
Well, one of the first things to think about, okay, so Jordyn Woods sat down with Jada Pinkett Smith. They have this conversation where she lays it all out. Jordyn Woods says that she went over to Khloe's ex's house.
Yeah.
And,
she used that phrase.
And Jada was referring to him as her friend, her sister's ex.
Right.
So that's already, we don't know everything that's going on. It seems like Khloe and Tristan might be on a break or things are rough.
It sounds like they're always kind of on and off, and everybody's like, is she going to be traveling? Like, everybody's always unclear if they're together, and this sort of like highlighted that even more.
Yeah, so I think that off the bat is something that we should pay attention to. But yeah, listen, Khloe, I love you, but this is not Jordyn. This is all your husband.
Yeah, I also am very, very shocked that this is all over a closed mouth kiss.
Right?
So it's not like they hooked up, they didn't have sex. When we first heard about this story, people were accusing her of giving her a lap dance, and we all thought that they were making out. That never happened.
Yeah.
So this was all got blown up. It was the rumor mill. We all fucking fell for it like a bunch of idiots. But literally, like, Jordyn was already leaving. She was waiting for her car. He walked her out, and as she was leaving, he leans in and gives her a kiss. Now, to me, that, like, is not on Jordyn at all. Was she in the wrong place at the wrong time? Definitely. Does she admit that? Yes. So why on earth are we dragging this poor young girl?
Yeah.
Right, but I think it's because that information wasn't clear, and you have to think about who leaked this, why did they leak it, at the time they did. I mean, all of it, you have to also put it in the context of the Kardashians. Because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, did Khloe leak this so that she would have an excuse to get out of this relationship? Like, everything is always so heightened with them for things that shouldn't be, is what you're, like, everything gets blown out of proportion.
Right.
There are some details she talks about during the interview, though, that makes me wonder whether or not that's true. I believe Jordyn. For the most part, I think her account is the honest one, so I'm gonna give her my, I don't know.
Yeah.
But she's talking about how she was sitting on his chair and had her legs over his, and you think at that point, before he's made a move on her, she's tight with the Kardashian family. She should probably know not to be like being all over him at a party.
Yeah.
I don't think she was all over him.
And she admits that. She admits that she was sitting on the couch with her legs across him, that they were talking closely because it was a party. I mean, I'm sorry, as Khloe, I would be upset at those things.
Yeah.
Like, I would be probably not talking to Jordyn for those
just
things.
those things.
Just those things alone. And then the kiss definitely heightens. Should it be this media hoopla? No. Was Jordyn in the wrong? Yes. And she admits that.
But speaking of the media hoopla, what I really loved about the interview is that the Smith family completely gets behind Jordyn and crafts this. It's an incredible interview because it literally begins with Uncle Will calling it, FaceTiming him from the set of Bad Boys 3.
Bad Boys 3!
Which is in the making.
Oh,
Woo!
I cannot wait. Bad Boys is such a good movie.
Well,
Bad Boys 2 rocked it. And now we're going to get Bad Boys 3.
And we got a preview in it.
Wait, are you joking? Because I really love Bad Boys.
Okay. I'm not joking. I fucking love the movie.
I do too. Okay.
I am a big fan of this series. So when that interview started, I was like distracted. I was like, Kardashian what? Caca Town. I want to talk about Bad Boys 3.
I'm with you.
But yeah, I mean, but just and on that note, with the Will Smith fame, you know, they kind of get behind Jordyn and really paint like Jordyn's been a friend of the family.
Yep.
Will and Jada care about her as like a kind of surrogate daughter almost. And then in the interview, Jada, I think first of all, looks incredible, but leads this really great interview where she speaks very honestly about being a black woman in entertainment and how the media treats black women, and rightfully so becomes a very interesting perspective on how we all. Most of us jumped on Jordyn and how it's kind of unfair because, you know, we don't know everything that went on, and because she's a young black woman and was friends with Kylie, we just like...
I think specifically black women are hypersexualized or seen as sexually aggressive, which is the point I think she was trying to make, and that the media, a simple kiss could somehow turn into she spent the night and was doing all this stuff without any evidence.
And it didn't deserve, as she said, a public crucifixion. It just didn't warrant the response it got.
And a lot of people were saying, like, accusing her of, like, you know, betraying the Kardashians after the Kardashians built her up and brought her from nothing. And what this interview taught a lot of people was that this girl didn't come out of nowhere. She wasn't living in the gutters. She was already in the business.
In the orbit.
Yeah, like, so it's very weird that Kardashians were given all this credit for, you know, making her who she is. And it's like, it's a lie.
She was friends with Jaden Smith before
Will and Jada were like, listen, Jordyn, we support you. Everyone fucks other people's husbands and wives sometimes. We do it all the time. Don't worry. We're here for you.
I mean, basically, bottom line, she was a blackout 21-year-old. I mean,
she wasn't blacked out. She
she
specifically said, she was like, I was not too drunk to know. I know everything that happened.
She was very drunk. Rephrase blackout, very drunk.
Very drunk. I mean, there is a difference.
I don't remember
she made mistakes.
I don't even remember her saying I was very drunk.
She did say she was very drunk.
She
She's
said
like,
I was drunk.
She goes, I'd been drinking for hours. Like, she was drunk.
Yeah, no, I mean, whatever. She owns up to her mistake. She definitely did some stuff that was wrong, but come on. I mean, Tristan, this is a guy who cheated on a Khloe.
Where do we go from here? What do you think's gonna happen next?
She should
in the Kardashian playbook.
Where do we go?
She should appear under oath in front of the House Oversight Committee.
She said she would take a lie detector test.
I mean,
she was like,
honestly, let's Michael Cohen this shit and let's get her in front of the House. I mean, what else do we want from her? I don't know. I mean, I believe her.
You were so pleased.
Yeah, I think we're gonna find out more about the Kardashians because definitely this year, is like astrologically, everyone's talking about how we're gonna see like the veil fall. We're gonna really figure out the truth about celebrities. And I've seen so many spiritual healers talk about specifically the Kardashians and how, you know, they are guilty of really just letting us see what we want, what they want us to see. And this is a year where we're gonna find out the truth about them.
Are you serious?
100%. Everyone in the spiritual community. I do. I think that they won't have the complete control, and we're gonna hear some, you know, some not cool stuff about them.
I want to hear the stuff.
Because when you get into the blogs, you see a lot of things that aren't confirmed, but they definitely protect their own, and anybody else who tries to infiltrate or mess with
Tell
it,
me to stop!
I mean, look at the trail of the people they've dated. They completely will ruin careers if it benefits them.
But I've also heard they don't really like each other very much.
No, I think they like each other. I think they protect each other, and I think that if someone comes between them and their men, they attack.
Or them and the money.
Or their
money and their men.
But also,
that's everything.
Their money and their men. Who doesn't attack someone if they come between their money and their men?
The money and their men.
Yeah, but speaking of which, Khloe then tweeted again this weekend to kind of respond to it and own up, basically because all the reaction to the Jordyn interview was very pro-Jordyn, so she kind of tweeted this back being like, you know, Tristan cheating on me, humiliating, wasn't such a shock the first time. You know, Tristan's one responsible for it. Like, basically retracting that original.
Yeah, she had a second tweet that followed this that was like, it's not Jordyn's fault, but it does suck to be treated like this by somebody who you considered a sister.
Of course.
So she did take the onus off of Jordyn, which again, I think she only did because she was vilified in her own comments about it. Not because she felt remorse.
I think like Shannon said, the Kardashians aren't immune, and I think maybe our society is changing, you know, as 2020 approaches, of leaving the whole like celebrity fixture and glow of these famous people and kind of like, let's look for substance and authenticity.
No, you're naive. The Kardashians' reign is stronger than ever.
No.
Cersei Lannister will rule!
The show is back, and I think I don't think any of this happens on accident. I don't know. The fact that they're now promoting the show again and this is all blowing up.
I love Kris Jenner. She probably orchestrated this whole thing. Who knows? I respect the woman who created this empire, but I mean, we shall see. Right?
I'm with
shall.
Shannon.
Well, I can't wait. I hope Kardashians don't rule forever. In other news, Martha Stewart is adding a dope title to her resume, Cannabis Advisor. The lifestyle guru has joined forces with Canadian marijuana company Canopy Growth to help develop a line of CBD products for animals. On her new role, Martha said, I am delighted to establish this partnership with Canopy Growth and share with them the knowledge I have gained after years of experience in the subject of living.
Like living in general?
The subject of living.
I think like she means like living products and the things you need to improve your life.
Well, Martha Stewart living was the name of her. Yeah, but I just love the way that quote sounds. Like,
she's
quoting
on her own supply while she's writing that. She's like, the subject of living. Yeah, this joke didn't hit. Right. Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Sorry.
I love when the story broke, they were also reporting like she doesn't actually smoke cannabis herself. And I was like, yeah, right. She's in prison, okay? She's done it all.
Yeah, exactly. In prison, she definitely was smoking.
Wait, what is this?
Smuggling.
What do you think that is?
Right? Yeah. Smuggling it up her asshole?
You know, just there's like lots of stuff you can do with your hands, you know?
She's sticking pot up her asshole.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, isn't this the universal sign for I'm shoving
somebody
drugs
else
up
would
my
have
ass?
to do that, not her. Whatever.
You could do this to another person. You could do it to yourself.
Have you
Hands
ever
go everywhere.
Holly through TSA?
No, I haven't, Allie.
But you know what you have done? You have smoked weed that's been in someone's ass.
Probably.
Yep. Everybody has. If you've smoked weed, you've smoked ass weed.
Yep, that's true. Where do you?
The more you know.
Yeah, the more you know. Like a poo-poo particles. Yeah. One time I was smoking my friend's dad, and then as we were like halfway through this joint, he literally tells us how he got it in.
Oh God.
And he was like had wrapped it up and put it in his beehole, and I was like, thanks a lot, dude. And I have to like look you in the eyes and be like, smoking this beehole, Jay. It's like so sad. Yeah. It was good.
Got so many layers.
My friend's dad was the high school drug dealer too.
Yeah,
really?
right?
It's
dad.
always like this one fuck up kid's dad, and he's like giving out drugs to the 8th graders, and he's like, I just believe you be honest with your kids. kid. And you're like, shut the fuck up, David. Like,
Yeah.
it's always that.
Yeah,
Always
so
that.
Martha's definitely smoked.
Yeah.
Let's
And
just
also,
assume.
I mean, she's, you know, BFFs with Snoop Dogg, and they had their show, and Snoop Dogg works with...
Snoop Dogg is high as a kite
Always.
every single day.
Yeah, that's his brand.
So look
You-
at these two.
you look
But
at
what's
them.
interesting is
They're smoking together.
this company she's partnering with, one of their subsidiaries already has a deal with Snoop Dogg. So
Yes.
this is all in the same cannabis family. Like,
Yeah, he
everybody's getting
introduced
paid.
them, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's getting paid.
I love it.
I love it too, but it is like it follows the trend of, you know, these rich, a lot of them white people, though, like Mike Tyson, Snoop Dogg, are involved too, like kind of getting into the cannabis business. I mean, former Speaker of the House Republican John Boehner is now in the cannabis business, which is so ironic if you know the policy supported while in
Yes.
office. And of course, I have to bring up, it's really unfair because a lot of people of color are still in jail because marijuana is
I
a classified one drug. So like, of course, as we look to the future, look at these stories, I love Martha Stewart, make that money, girl, but like, let's think about how we need to make sure everyone is benefiting from this new business and not just rich white people.
And it has been decriminalized in several states, but I
Right.
think we then have to look at people who were convicted for drug crimes
Right.
and start releasing
And the
them.
federal
because,
level, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
sure that's a big issue when 2020 approaches and stuff, but you know, it's something to think about because Martha cannot be the only one getting high and not going to jail. Come on, guys. You know?
But it's so funny. It's like people of this generation beyond just Martha, because I've talked to several friends' parents and just like general people who are like in their 70s, 60s, and they're like, oh, I want to start growing my own cannabis and selling it. Like they're all getting woke to this and seeing the benefits of it, one for themselves and two for like a hustle.
I mean, retirement communities in Florida are gonna be where to get the best weed soon.
Oh, for
You
sure.
Go to Boca and just go talk to Bubby and get your weed.
I mean, hands down. I also love that I know Whoopi Goldberg got into this, and she has her whole own line. So she's got chocolate, she has tinctures, she has like bubble bath. Like Whoopi was on it before everybody. So good for you,
I
girl.
would be so chill on The View that makes sense.
Oh yeah, she smokes so much weed.
Jordyn was so chill in that Red Table Talk interview. I thought she was high. No,
She was just
Maybe she
terrified.
took to me like a thing to calm
a
her down.
Xanax or something.
But I would trust Whoopi's
yeah.
line. Like she's someone I would like on brand for her. Trust whatever she's selling.
Yeah, my point is I want to drive people to Whoopi's line too because she's already got this lifestyle line, and I think they should. If she is actually a smoker, I trust her a little more than Martha.
Yeah, and this line is not for humans, by the way.
Right.
This is CBD for pets.
Well,
so
shit,
maybe,
we're all
let's not eat the pet shit. Although, you know what? Like,
Which
they
is-
have this
And you
new
can't
cat
get
yogurt
high
that's
from
pretty good.
CBD. Sorry, I
Right.
cut you off.
No, go for it.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't get high from CBD, and we're all like, Martha
Great.
Stewart gets so high, and we're all just like eating dog shit. No? All right.
Yeah.
Let's
So-
take another moment to explain what CBD is.
Fuck. Do most people know that?
Yeah.
I feel like most people don't.
We've already covered it, I feel like 12 times on the show.
I've been
Well,
so high.
Remember when we were like, we got the CBD gummies for your stress, and they were like, eat them on camera, eat them on camera.
We did do
And
that.
I was like, no, they give me
You're right.
diarrhea.
I still have those gummies.
Me too.
I just meant that we were talking about her line as
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
were getting high from it. And I was just making the distinction, but you're right. It was totally unnecessary, and I cut you off about yogurt.
Yeah, you like cut me off, man, just to explain CBD.
I'm sorry. Are we good?
Yeah, look at this resolution we just got.
Yeah,
Here. That
are we
was
okay
beautiful,
now?
guys.
Yeah, it was great.
All right, guys.
I hope you're high if you're watching this
Actress
right now.
Julia Roberts is in talks for an Amazon limited series adaptation of the book Charlotte Walsh Likes to Win. The news comes right after Roberts starred in Amazon's Homecoming, which was her first role as a series regular.
Yes. So can I jump in first?
Jump in.
My friend Joe Piazza, hi Joe, wrote this book. So I am so pumped. This is so big for my friend. I think it's amazing. And the book is really cool. It basically covers a woman who's very successful in Silicon Valley, and she moves back to her small town in Pennsylvania to run for office. And she has 3 children and a husband, and it shows how the media treats women who are running for office, even very successful, ambitious ones. And so she was inspired to write this after the 2016 election, everything she saw.
Why?
And
What happened?
I know, right?
Hillary Rodham said, go buy it.
And then it was like a really good read during the midterms when like more and more
Right.
women were running for office. So it's just like so on brand for where we are politically, and it's just so funny and well written. So I hope that this actually goes through.
I remember when I was in LA and this treatment came into the production I was working at Imagine, and I was reading the draft of it. I was like, this sounds so cool and so good. So I'm really excited Amazon's doing it, because that means money's involved.
Yeah.
And also Julia Roberts. I mean, it seems like you have to win an Oscar before you get a big show on a streaming giant.
Yeah.
And Julia, I think she's awesome. So I'm excited to see her play this role. I think she'll do a really good job.
Yeah. Especially this like power woman role, you really need like a force, and I mean Julia is.
She did Homecoming first season, which is gonna be on for another season too, but she's not gonna be on it. So this is her second time on Amazon. But yeah,
I think these stars like their deals that they have with these streaming networks because they have so much more control and they can just, they're starring it, they're producing it, they can do whatever the fuck
and they make a lot of money, and I think Ryan Murphy was the first person to bring, not first person, was started the trend to really bring movie stars like Jessica Lange to television and getting them involved as like EPs and producers and only get like sign them on for like a season at a time because movie stars get scared about TV like doing it for 10 years because they get sick of it. But if you're like Julia Roberts and you're huge, if she executive produces Homecoming still, was only on it for a season but still makes money from it, so she's still making money, still making really great content, so they love it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I really am so grateful for streaming sites because you can literally get the quality of projects that you can't get on network TV. Like network TV has all these these ropes you have to jump through that really kind of ruin the quality of things. And I think that's why we see so many people flocking to these streaming sites. And now, a lot of people in the traditional media are very, very threatened. Like Steven Spielberg is trying to get Netflix movies and other streaming sites to not be eligible for the Oscars. And it's totally bogus.
Yeah.
He's just scared and greedy. And I don't understand why he's being this way. I guess he's like really jealous of Roma.
Well,
no, truly.
Literally, that's gotta be it.
The thing is, like, literally, like, Roma would not have been able to be made if it went through, like, a traditional studio. It would not have been made. Black and white, no stars, like, you know what, dude? Like, this is why streaming exists. So for them to try to take that away for no reason at all is ridiculous.
Totally. People need that shot. It's so hard to get your film seen, and Netflix and these other streaming services are the vehicle to do so.
See that? I'm gonna push back a little bit just to argue the other point of view. I think at least what he's arguing right now is that the magic of cinema has a lot to do with being in theaters and the theater distribution. I think there's a huge problem with small budget films getting made, and that is a problem that should be addressed. But Steven Spielberg is saying, like, if Netflix can compete in the Emmys and the Oscars, that's not fair. They're becoming this.
Why?
Because it's this, they
had a theater run. They had a theater run for the minimum amount of time that it needed to be in the theaters.
Monopoly?
Yeah, Netflix is arguing, of course, it's supplying people who can't afford to go to theaters, don't have theaters, but Steven Spielberg is saying Netflix is worth billions of dollars. They have so much money. Yes, they gave Roma a shot, but they're gonna shut out traditional movie makers who want to be seen in cinemas and theaters and going to the theaters and this whole business that makes up movies. Netflix will just become everything. Soon they'll release albums and win Grammys. And Steven's like saying we have to put a stop to Netflix, which has already become a giant and just eating up studios and networks. That's the only. I don't totally agree with it. I'm just saying I think that's what, as a creator, Spielberg is saying. Of course, the creator's made billions of dollars already. But what he is saying as a member of the Academy of Motion Pictures, like we should maybe think about before we empower Netflix to become this super studio of television and film.
And for me, that's a business call. As a consumer, I love it.
Right, of course.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel like this is more like a high-level thing that, like, doesn't really... I think consumers now have more options than ever, and for me, that's beautiful, and that's what we should be focused on, not being fearful of Netflix taking over.
And it did make watching Roma so much easier. I was able just to watch it and...
At home in my bed where I should and fall asleep.
Right, but that's, I think, is an argument of what films should be.
Also, films are too expensive. They're like $17 a ticket. People cannot afford that. So again, if he wants to do that, then they need to make the film-going experience more accessible to people.
Well, yeah, there are, like, Peter Jackson, who directed Lord of the Rings, is one of the people trying to develop this, like, straight-to-home service that would cost a substantial amount of money, but, like, they're trying to develop ways that, like, it's still through traditional theater, like, distribution, but it's way that people could try to get it through their homes. And I think there are some directors trying to develop that and not just hand it over to Netflix. I think the fear is that these already very successful directors, writers, fear Netflix getting so powerful that they just can control everything and do everything. But I think there's a fair side. What you said, Roma maybe would not have gone a shot if it wasn't for Netflix.
I just think it's bogus because all they're upset about is that they had all the power and now they don't.
Right.
Because literally, like, their companies, like Steven Spielberg has been one of the most powerful people in the business.
Right.
And so him to call out Netflix for having all this power just seems like, look in the mirror, bro.
Right. And
You've had this for decades.
And industries are meant to be disrupted. I mean, if music didn't get disrupted, we'd still be buying records and putting in, like, spinning it and be like, look at this little jam. I mean, things have to be disrupted to change and evolve. So, Netflix is clearly the main disruptor of the past.
But I think they're far from being a monopoly. I think we're seeing more and more everyday new streaming services get bigger deals and bigger stars, and so it's not like they're the only players.
Well, Amazon is coming for
and
Netflix.
Hulu,
And Hulu, I love Hulu, but Amazon has as much money as Netflix, so they are really. I mean, Jeff Bezos is worth like $100 billion. They can do whatever they want. I think Amazon's the one that's gonna try to compete with Netflix in terms of making, like, big budget features. Of course, they already have The Lord of the Rings and The Wheel of Time, 2 fantasy series being developed, which each cost like $500 million. So, like, Amazon is balls to the wall, like going for it. It's crazy.
Damn.
We shall see.
Yeah.
This is a really insightful conversation.
Yeah. You learned something, guys? Did ya? Good. Well, we all know that horrible feeling when you're forced to show up to work after a late night out and maybe one too many shots. Well, Cosmopolitan has some tips and tricks to fake it till the clock hits 5. I don't know about you guys, but I've been hungover 1 or 2 times at work.
Did you know? CBD can't get you high.
Oh, thanks for that
I wanted to
tip.
make that callback, but I was like, she's gonna think I'm making fun of her.
No, I was gonna keep saying it, but then I was like, I don't want to get Shannon annoyed.
It's just hard, you know? It's really hard when you're out there in the world, you're trying to have these elevated conversations, and someone's like, did you know that CBD is like cannabis, but like without the head high? And you're like, stop! Stop, Susan! Shut up!
Susan!
Yeah, well,
That's your
Susan,
new
you know,
nickname,
yeah,
Susan.
you're Susan. Hey, girl.
I hate to be Susan.
Susan, do you want to talk to the manager?
Yeah.
I love this article because, I mean, I don't know if you all know this, but in October, I was drunk on the show once, one night out that I, remember when I came that one day, I literally slept 2 hours.
I can't remember which time it was, actually.
You're a messy slut. I love that Lucas says that he loves this article because this article is literally like, you should eat eggs in the morning.
I did not know that. Wait, I did not know eggs help with getting rid of alcohol in your bloodstream.
So fuck you.
No wonder I love eating eggs
I'm
after.
Susan.
The egg eater.
I think everyone should get paid to write for Cosmo.
Yeah.
Because literally, like, no one would be out of a job. You could just be like, you know how to scrub your butt, spread the cheese. And you'd be like, I love this article for Cosmo, let's cover it. Like, it's just like, I hope we all get a job there.
I'm sorry, I'm trying to show enthusiasm for the article we read.
I'm going to say this is
story.
probably important for, like, certain people to be reminded of.
Yeah, certain people.
Fetuses.
They had some good tips. The pads you put on your eyes.
Oh, those are great.
Yeah.
Also keeping some like mints and stuff on hand.
Yeah.
Like, people, when they're hungover, really hungover, you can smell the hangover.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you know what? I like not helping those people because if you're an idiot and you don't know that you should just have fresh breath, then I like you being at your job, being stanky and sweaty and all ugly, because you know what? Then you maybe don't deserve your job.
This is true.
That's true.
I think the key is to throw up right away. Just like you start the morning and just throw up right away. Because I think part of the reason, this comes from my personal experience when I was much younger. Part of my reason when I had to go to work hungover was that like I'm fighting the puking, right? And my thing is just release it. Let it go. You're gonna have like the throw up sweats for like 20 minutes and then you're gonna be fine.
Just puke when you get home.
No, I'm saying puke before.
But
puke
like,
at the beginning of the day.
Puke at the beginning of the day.
Or maybe just don't drink that much. Can you just be
you can't help
fucking
it.
chill?
Shannon,
Like,
that's
I'm drinking
easier
so
said than
much.
done sometimes.
You cannot help it.
No, you know what?
I'm with you,
like,
Shannon.
as like a weed person, I'm so sick and tired of alcohol culture being so accepted, okay?
Isn't it funny that I'm the weed person and I'm like, CBD?
Doesn't get you high.
I'm always like, what's wrong with you? Don't do that.
It kind of reveals our personalities, the weed people and the alcoholics.
And these two are raging alcoholics.
Yeah, we're really fun.
I'm not anymore, but I was at your age.
She's not anymore, but I will say the first time I met Brittany over email, she replied we should probably all hang out and get a little drunk.
Well, is there any better way to bond with new
isn't,
friends?
Brittany.
Thank you. The vote's with me.
There isn't. And we were so much fun at the holiday party. We had a few drinks in us,
me
too.
and Lucas were on the dance floor
You've seen
all
us dance,
night
so, like,
long with our drinks.
You should know your limit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I do now.
I think.
We both talk like alcoholics. I've learned my limit.
I learned my
now.
limit. Cut to me on Friday, like 4 in the morning, stumbling home in the snow.
No, I haven't.
I'm fine, Mom.
I was gonna say I haven't come to work hungover lately, but that's a lie. So we can move on.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait a minute. I remember you in the makeup
Last
chair
week.
with the little like things, the little patches under your eyes, and then they got in her eyes, and she was like, my eyes are burning, we're burning. And I was like, is she gonna make it? She was able to read to the prompter with her burnt out eyes?
And then I think I like chugged a Red Bull and slapped myself in the face. And was like, go, and I did it.
Yeah, your birthday week was.
It was my birthday week, so yeah.
But going out weeknights is, even as a 25-year-old, I don't do that often. It's exhausting. Like, you can't, like, you have a morning routine that you need to do to wake up. Like, if I go out too late, I'm done.
Yeah, the few times that I have actually like really gone hard on a weeknight has been devastating the next morning.
Devastating.
I mean, I can't move. Like, if you have, like, someone or something to take care of, like, when I have to, like, walk my dog the next day, I'm like, I can't imagine being a parent and being hungover.
No.
And having to, like, deal with children.
It makes me think about my parents when they were clearly hungover and just not wanting to deal, and I was being so annoying to them, wanting to, like, play and talk. My mom has her sunglasses on, dad. It's just, like, something I was like, why are you guys sick? And I was
Yeah, why are we watching movies all day?
Yeah.
Just another moment to give props to Anne Hathaway for choosing her children over herself.
True.
Good job, Anne.
Anne
That was a good call.
Hathaway, really, this is about you, babe.
That's true.
18 years of sobriety for her child.
Yeah.
Really quick, I want to know your guys' hangover remedies, even if you guys aren't hungover often.
Really greasy food, I would say.
right?
Like, I think you need, like, a McDonald's, like, burger right when you wake up. Like, I want the greasiest grill. Like, I can't. Usually, though, when I'm drunk, I eat tons of shit.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, oh, I want to eat clean after this. I need a detox, but you need that one day to
need
recover.
grease.
You need grease.
I agree.
Yeah, I usually will order some sort of like scrambled eggs or hamburger, but then I will work out, which I know is annoying, but I will go to the gym and I will sweat and then go in the steam room, and then by the time I will be done with the hangover. I'll just be really tired, but all of it will be out of me.
I start the night before and I have 2 like ibuprofen and just chug water. Cause you know you wanna like beat it before that like 8 hours of sleep where you're not drinking anything and you're just drying out, and then your radiator starts and you're like getting all fried up in bed and you're like, why am I alive? You know?
Oh my God, that was just like you were in my head. Everything you said is like how I feel and what I do. I take the ibuprofen the night before and Gatorade. I usually, if I know I'm gonna have like a crazy weekend, I
Pedialyte apparently is great.
Pedialyte is what like frat kids do. They like chug Pedialyte before sleep.
Because it works.
It works. Look at them.
That is crazy though. Like, and I've heard people like drinking the Gatorade before they go to sleep, but also just don't drink that much.
Yeah, just be chill.
Anymore.
Let me tell you, none of you are cooler when you're wasted. You're just more annoying.
Yeah, I would think so.
I've heard I'm really fun.
I'm like a blast.
No,
I'm really
you
fun.
guys are fun when you're tipsy. When you're wasted is another thing.
I don't know, do you remember that video of me and him dancing after her party?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
You guys were tipsy.
We
had a few
You can have a lot of drinks and not seem fucked up. You.
Yeah.
Like, you'll be fine. I'm like, how much did you drink? You're like, 6. I'm like, what?
Because I'm a lady.
Yeah. It's just, me.
And you act drunk sober, so
Yeah.
There's
Your
no
eyes
difference.
are never open. It's kind of alarming. I was thinking about this over the weekend. I was
Your
like,
eyes
where's
are
eyes now?
I've never seen your eyes open.
I think you're always wasted. I'm like, we need to talk.
On that note, that's all from us. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same table. Goodbye, everyone.